Clark.
And we're coming to you from the coffee shop. Today we are recording at Station in Beacon Hill. Is it Station or The Station?
I think it's The Station.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Station in Beacon Hill. It's this little coffee shop, kind of in a weird, like a residential-y neighborhood. We're right across from a park, and I looked up the name of it, and then I forgot what name it was. But it starts with an O.
Yeah. I didn't even notice it. I just know I've never actually been into Beacon Hill before, and it's kind of weird. It opens up, it's all residential around you, and you got this little cool little coffee shop kind of tucked away.
Totally.
Yeah, and I looked it up on Yelp. Got really good reviews.
Definitely.
It looked a lot bigger in the pictures.
Yeah, it's really kind of like a nook, but we're out on the back porch, which has all these like little tables, and it's kind of a cute little
cozy.
Feels sort of like you're at somebody's house.
Yeah, and the coffee is amazing.
Oh my gosh, it's really, really good. Scott, what did you get?
I normally order a mocha, and the barista said he wanted he suggested a mocha Americano.
Or mocha Mexicano.
Mexicano, something like that. And it has Mexican chocolate and some nutmeg. It's amazing. It is really amazing. Good. I definitely recommend this a pop in and see how they are, because it's just really good. It
opened at 8 o'clock, and we got here right at 8, and by like 8:03, there's 10 people here already.
Yeah, that tells you something. It's like it's when people actually show up right at opening time. That means you got a good thing going.
It's true. And I don't actually know the difference between Mexican chocolate and American chocolate, but I'm sure there's some... when I was living in Ghana is like the land of the chocolate farmer. Yeah. And we went on this like tour of chocolate farms, and, I didn't realize actually that a chocolate bean... I pictured it like a coffee bean. It's like
a pod, isn't it?
A football.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you break it open, and it has these little like white pouches in it, and you can eat it just like unroasted.
Right.
It doesn't taste anything like chocolate, but it just tastes like almost just kind of like a sweet potato almost.
It's the cacao.
Yeah, totally. And then they roast them in different places, and the farmers were saying that the difference in chocolate in different parts of the world has nothing to do with the plant. It has to do with the roasting techniques.
Oh, right.
That like the way different parts of the world roast it.
Yeah.
Make it taste different.
It's kind of they did the similar thing in the Willy Wonka movie. You see that with the yeah. Well, it just kind of did a little thing on the bean.
Totally.
I actually didn't even know what a chocolate pod looked like, and I thought it was totally made up.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Until I actually seen it on Discovery Channel. I was like, nice. Okay, thank you, Johnny Depp, for bringing me that reality in a totally fictional movie.
Yeah, well, and we were like, it was, we all got in the bus, it was like a school trip, and it was like, we are going to go to the chocolate fields, and I'm picturing these like rows of trees. Yeah. And it's seriously like some dude in a house, and he's just like chilling, and he's like, here's my chocolate field, and it's just like a whole bunch, it just looks like a forest. Like, just, totally like, you don't have to cultivate it in any kind of organized way, because it just grows, like, at random, and they're these really long trees that, like, arch, and so they grow them in circles, and then they arch over the middle of the circle, and so they all grow, like, toward the center.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually, like really weird. Yeah, totally. It was fun.
Now,
and I
was like, this is so different. Did they pick the pods, or they just let them drop?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I remember they were talking about how they have... like a few days where they come and like open all the pods and like kind of prepare them and then ship them off.
Right.
But I actually don't remember whether they said if they picked them or not. If they did, though, they could just walk up and like pop it right off the tree.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
That'd be interesting, actually.
Life experiences are cool. Well, today we have a special guest with us who we're going to introduce in just a few minutes, and his name is Darius Alexander from Still Standing Entertainment. But first I thought we would do a couple minutes about what's going on with us and kind of catch up on the last week. What's going on with you, Scott?
Well, I've been kind of a bachelor since last Wednesday, and I went out a couple times and I'm paying for it now. I'm still actually. I was hungover all day yesterday.
You have to explain why you're a bachelor.
Okay, my wife.
Kenita was not murdered, nor did she leave you.
No.
And Kenita's not here today.
Right.
I mean, she's never technically here.
But she's
physically not here.
Yeah, she's not here. Reason being, she's at a meditation retreat for 10 days.
That's so cool to me.
10 days of noble silence, they call it, and it's non-denominational. So it's not a faith based. Yeah. It's just teaching of. It's more of a philosophy of just basically quieting your mind, and I don't know if I can do it ever. I don't know. I
would like to do it.
It sounds cool, but I don't know. It's a long time. 12 days. You're basically there for 12 days. Basically sequestered for 12 days.
And then do they do anything, or is it just... Yeah. Okay.
They have a meditation hall where there is a teacher, so it's not actually silence. You do have an instructor who's talking.
You are just not speaking?
Right. Okay. And there's no interaction. You're not actually supposed to... You're not supposed to communicate in any way with anybody there. Yeah. And there's a regiment. You get up. I only know this through what she told me. You get up early in the morning, and there's breakfast, and then I think at some point
a bird just flew by and it made like a really weird sound.
It was the loudest flapping I've ever heard. It was almost like hands clapping. Yeah, totally. We got an applause just from the sky. So anyway, they get up and then they go to the meditation hall after everything's said, after breakfast, and then they sit for hours just meditating for like all day. And they go on reflective walks. There's a field where they can walk, and this is down in the south part of Washington, down by Chehalis, past Chehalis.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, and
so it's kind of naturey, woodsy for those who don't know the area. Chehalis is beautiful. And they have these
really cool little cabins. Well, it's like dorms, but just single. You get 2 people to a room. Yeah, and it's very minimalist, and I think I just dig it. I could actually live something like that because it's just...
That's cool.
It takes you away. Oh, and
I'd really like to do that, I think. I've had experiences in my life where that were similar, but nothing for that extended of a time. But it seems like, just especially for me, it would be so much different than my normal life, which is literally just talking to people all day, that I don't know. It would be cool to try out.
So, but there's no vices either. You can't smoke. Yeah. Can't drink. There's. No TV. I think there's tea. There's tea, but no coffee.
Okay. Can you read?
I don't know.
Okay.
Electronics,
no
cell phones.
Would be really interesting to try.
I don't know if I'd addicted to my cell phone. It's unreal. Gosh, me too. That's probably the hardest part I'd have to give up is my phone.
I know. I went on a date with this guy this week who actually is like really, really, really fun. But it was like our first date, so whatever.
Oh, nice.
But he had this watch on that I was like, that is a bomb watch. Like, it just looked really cool. And then he was showing it to me, and it's a Pebble.
Oh, I heard of those.
Have you heard of the Pebble?
Yeah, you link them to your phone.
It's so awesome. And his text messages, it's like a little tiny e-ink screen, and his text messages come up on his phone, or on his... I keep watch. Pointing to my wrist and saying phone, on his watch. So it's like an Inspector Gadget watch. Yeah. And I was like, if I had that, my life would be done. Like, I would have to just plug it into my brain and then just admit that I've become a total cyborg. I already spend way too much time text messaging people.
I'm like
without a watch.
Facebook junkie.
Oh my gosh, me too.
I am. I can't. It's like, is there any updates? Is there any updates? I was like, okay, just leave it alone.
I know. But like, I served a mission for the Mormon Church. As the listeners know, I used to be a Mormon in a past life, and I had 18 months with no newspaper, no TV, no radio. All you could listen to was religious music, which actually, like, I'm really into choral music, and so it was kind of like, the music part wasn't so bad to me, because I got a lot of, like, Mormon Tabernacle Choir CDs. Okay. And so that kind of fed the need to have, like, sound. Right. No talking to family and friends. Like, because you're supposed to be, like, so focused on your missionary work. And I went into it, like, super freaked out because I love movies and I love TV and I love books. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to entertain myself. And it ended up being, like, a really, really fun 2 years because, like, once you kind of, like, step away from all that stuff, I have never laughed more in my life than on my mission because we would just entertain each other. And
yeah, you use the thing between your ears to entertain yourself. You know, your imagination is a wonderful thing. But one more thing about the meditation is also that when you're there, because you start meditating, you start shutting down. You quiet your mind. You basically you're just slowing everything down.
Yeah.
But your senses become heightened. So perfumes and soaps and shampoos become irritating.
Oh, I'm sure.
And very strong. Like my wife got actually in trouble. Not really in trouble, but when she went down there, she has dandruff shampoo. I don't know. I can't remember what shampoo it is, but it's not really overly strong, but it has perfumes in it.
And they were like,
no, you can't use that.
Yeah.
It's very, we'd rather you not. And speaking of senses, also, it's a vegetarian, all vegan, vegan diet. And so gas is people, and you're not supposed, you can't giggle, or I mean you can,
but you're supposed to.
But people are
do
sitting in there and they
just
just rip one out. And, it's like you're sitting in a silent room and somebody farts.
That's funny.
And it's.
I don't know if I could deal with that and not laugh.
I would, I'd probably be willing to fart it. So
I would actually maybe start doing it just to mess with people, like bringing my farts with me and really like saving them up and finding a quiet moment to like squeak and see if I could get some of the old ladies to laugh. Just because that would be awesome.
It wouldn't just be. It would be the over the top novelty sounds too.
No, and I would start walking weird. Like I totally know myself too well. I would start becoming obnoxious because it would be funny to me.
Yeah, that's probably how I'd entertain myself. That's probably how I would entertain.
But I would like to try it. I think 10 days, or what did you say, 12 days?
Yeah.
To me, that would be too much, but I would like to try it like for a weekend, like a day or two, because that would be fun.
For teenagers, they do offer a 2-day retreat for, because they understand that teenagers. Yeah. It's more like an introductory thing. But.
Yeah, and that would be more of my, because I don't know, I'm the quintessential extrovert though. Like I feed off of interaction with people, and it energizes and relaxes me, and like too much solitude stresses me out. I start getting really anxious and really depressed.
I sit there for too long. How come nobody's talking to me?
I know. I'm like,
nobody loves me.
I want to interact with another person.
Right?
Like, where are my homies?
Right.
Totally. But but I do like a little time to myself, and it would be interesting to see, like, as an experiment, to see how it would feel to go a couple of days. Because I've done also things where, like, you have like a 4-hour time where you just like sit in reflection. You know, I've done those kind of things in limited scenarios, and I always like it.
I call them sleep.
Yep. Totally. If I lay down when I meditate, I fall asleep immediately.
They do.
It's not.
They also
productive.
They do that. They don't. They try to. They say, if you do fall asleep, they'll come and. Give you a little nudge.
Nudge you? And then you'll be like, stop interacting with me.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think you can, if you can go to the office and you can talk with, like, if you have an issue. There's limited times where you can break the noble silence. And so you're not, it's not 100% silent.
Right. That's good.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. It's very, well, when I first drove there, I drove her down there, and I thought, first thing that popped in my mind was Jonestown, because it just looks kind of has that layout.
Yeah.
It has and it's not co-ed. Okay. I mean, there's men and women there, but
they're separated.
Yeah, they're separated. They're segregated, and you got the men's side here, and you can't walk the same trails or anything. So there's no fraternizing. And they even have separate dining halls too.
That's
so
weird.
The only time you have interaction with female to male is before and after, like the last day of Noble Silence. I think they break it at like 6 p.m. And then people just, they chat. They just,
I'm sure.
They have so much to say. They build it up.
Totally.
So,
well, that's cool. So you've been like hanging out at home, just you and your son, and goofing off?
I went out a couple times. I went out with I got a cousin, and she's newly single, so she invited me out, and we ended up staying out till like 4 a.m. one night.
I'm too old for that.
Oh, I am too. I'm actually. This was Saturday morning. I got home. I got home at like 5. And I went to bed, and I woke up immediately at 9. I think I was still drunk.
Oh yeah,
but then
imagine.
I was like all day yesterday, just like this is a zombie. I just looked at I just stared at my carpet. Just stared at it, just like, oh man, I don't feel good. I should go back to sleep, and I couldn't sleep though either. So yesterday was kind of a ruined day.
Yeah.
I just kind of. But I did watch a good movie though yesterday.
What's that?
The In-Betweeners.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's kind of neat. It's a British.
That's not a movie. It's a TV show.
No, it's a movie. They made a movie. It's an independent film. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there's also a TV show.
They go on.
It's
holiday.
the kids from high school, right?
Yeah, but this is they're finished high school now, and
have you seen the show?
Oh,
okay. If you like the movie, you should go back. I don't think I've seen the movie. I've seen the TV show.
It's on Netflix. I picked it up on Netflix, and it's on the new releases. And I was just I was trolling it, and it popped in. I had heard about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to watch this because I heard it's really funny. And it was really funny, but it's that British dry, ironic humor, which I really dig. And it's
well, the problem I had with it when I first started watching the TV show version is just that, like, people get annoyed with me when I say this. Like, I went through a period of time where I couldn't watch anything British because the accents were, like, so obnoxious to me. Have I mentioned this on the podcast before? Like, nails on a chalkboard annoying, and I just could not deal with it.
Too Cockney?
No, there's a few. I've noticed, actually, the Irish shows I don't mind, the Australian shows I don't mind. There's a few British shows that I was like, I can't watch this. It's driving me crazy. Like, it was, like, making me angry. And then I kind of got over that, but I watched this show during that period, and they use so much British slang that I just don't know what the words mean. And so they're talking, like, really fast and giving each other shit, and I can tell they're, like, making jokes about each other, but I can't tell what the content of the joke is, and then I'm like, fuck this show. Like, I could sit here and, like, Urban Dictionary everything they're saying, or I could just watch a show where I understand the things that are being said to me. Yeah,
that's when they start doing the slang. That's the Cockney stuff. That's really Cockney. It's like everything's rhymed, and
real hard to understand sometimes in that. And my friend who'd seen the whole show told me I should have given it a few more episodes because she was like, it gets easier to understand. Right. I was like, well, oh well.
It was a good movie though. It was
I'm gonna watch it.
Finished high school and we're going on to university, and so this is their summer break.
Oh, right on.
And that's basically what it was. It's kind of like an American Pie type thing, or Porky's. It was very. There was not. Is there any nudity? Yeah, a couple nudities.
Nudities.
Yeah, nude scenes.
That's funny to me to make nudity plural. Nudities.
Yeah. That's gonna be in the Urban Dictionary. So
I didn't watch anything good this week. I watched a lot of movies, and I watched, like, many of them I got about 40 minutes into and moved on. Like, nothing worth mentioning. All at home, though. I didn't go to the movies. Right. But today, I've decided, actually today I'm too busy, but tomorrow I'm going to the movies. Like, it's been... The last movie I saw in the theater was, like, 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And that's too long for me. I need to go to the movies. And I think I'm going to see Man of Steel finally. Even though I've almost decided to skip over it, I've decided I really do want to see it. Mostly because I remembered Michael Shannon is in it. And then I was like, oh, Michael Shannon is so good. So I need to go see it.
No, that's the main actor, right?
He's Zod.
Oh, Zod, okay.
I love him. Yeah, he's from Chicago. My friend Ryan used to see him at this bar that he went to all the time. Yeah. And he would see him around town. Yeah,
he's actually a good performance. I like him. Awesome. I dug it. I did. I told you I saw it, and it was, a lot of people didn't like. You've probably heard by now. It's property damage in the movie, what they call it.
Oh right, yeah. I don't care about that. It's all CGI anyway.
Yeah. So
cool.
But that was pretty much it. So I've had my little tear. I'm gonna now I got to be good for
Yeah, that's sad for you.
Nah.
So why don't we bring in our guest for today? I'd like to welcome Darius Alexander.
I'd like to start. This is
You're not even going to let him say
one
word?
I want to tell you how.
Okay, don't say anything.
I met Darius a little over a year ago.
Okay.
And it was quite a series of I want to say remarkable circumstances, but it was just one of those things where I sent my neighbor recommended him to me because I knew somebody who could sing.
Okay.
And so I sent this person to him, and he basically, because I didn't know him from, we didn't know each other at all. We just basically it was when I sent him the message, it was probably one of the most random things he could have gotten. And I, of course, got what I expected was like, okay, I'm kind of busy right now, but here's my number, and have her contact me, and if I can work out. And the next thing I know, they're in a studio recording a song together, which was really cool. And then that's where we met. And then I've seen him perform, which amazing performer, by the way. He's
cool.
He's open for Genuine, correct?
Yeah.
He's been at Summer Jam.
Awesome.
Not main stage, second stage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then he's also performed Genuine for at the Tacoma Dome. Is that right?
No. Tacoma Dome was for Archbishop Desmond Tutu's last U.S. appearance.
Oh, okay. And he also does spoken word. He's an alum of PLU, so he's a local.
Right on.
Well, Spanaway Tacoma boy, and he's a family man. He's also works for an insurance company, and he's just I think an amazing singer songwriter.
Right on.
I've every chance I get. Well, not only do I like his music, which is rare for my wife to like the same music.
Oh yeah.
So she's really a fan of his as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, Kanita's a fan of
Awesome.
what is it? One Take.
Yeah.
One Take is his band with his partner.
Ryan.
Ting. Yeah,
Cool.
I never could pronounce. It's on Facebook. It's Rye, but that's not his full name, right? Is his full name Ryan or is it Ryan?
Yeah, it's Ryan.
Okay, Ryan.
Right on.
Ryan. So.
Well, welcome to the show.
Right.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Totally. So, you are, it sounds like a musician, entertainment kind of guy.
Yeah, some of everything.
Cool. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what got you into music, what kind of music you're into, and I don't know, whatever you want to talk about is awesome to me.
Cool. Well, I'm pretty much into all kinds of music. I just love words, really, and just sound. And how I got into music is really my mom and dad just played music all the time in the house when I was growing up.
Cool.
And it's not like a natural talent or anything. It's just I grew up on Motown, heard it all the time. And it's funny, it's like when I was a kid, I would be out driving with my dad, and he'd be like, "What's the instrument in the background?" I'm like, "I have no idea, dude." And kind of just went through that. And then as I got older, come to find out he used to be a DJ who was really into music.
Wow.
My mom was in the choir at church, had us in the choir, and then I was about 17. I just loved writing all the time. And then I won a competition for some poetry, and then around my early 20s, started putting it with music and took off from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Now, how many to date? How many albums have you produced?
I have put out 14 albums, 14 solo albums, and then the group album with One Take with my boy Ryan Ting, Ryan C. And then I've also manage artists as well. So in managing artists, I've helped put out 5 albums for them, I believe.
Very cool.
Cool.
So what goes into putting out an album? Is that like a gigantic question, like what goes into mining oil or something? But I'm just curious, like, tell me a little bit about like the process of how that goes for you. Maybe like if you found an artist that you were like, that person has something cool, like I want to help that person out.
First thing, you have to figure out what their identity is. I mean, who are they, you know? And I think a lot of times I'm usually pretty quiet in my normal life. I just kind of like to sit back and observe. But then when I get on stage, I'm outgoing, I'm jumping on tables. It's completely different, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so it's like marketing is a huge part of it. So whoever the artist is, you have to figure out what they look like, what they sound like, who they appeal to, what that kind of audience is going to be into, what do they need to hear about, and then you kind of start from there. And then once you know what your audience is going to be and who the artist is, you start building the songs.
Totally.
You record 1 million songs to pick out the 12 best ones in the end.
Yeah.
So.
Is that hard sometimes?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I put out albums with 24 songs on it, and that's just stupid.
Oh jeez.
Nobody's gonna listen to 24 songs.
Yeah.
So it's like you really have to weed out the ones that you have to pick the ones that the people will like, and not necessarily the ones that you're in love with all the time.
Yeah, that's hard.
So,
Because I can imagine that there's probably a lot of stuff that ends up on the cutting room floor that you're like, man, I really just think that's a cool groove.
Oh yeah, I have thousands of songs that nobody's ever heard and never will.
Well, maybe. You never know. Like, you get those. It's like the Beatles? Like, every 10 years they come out with this, like, secret hidden Beatles stuff. And you're like, this is not good at all. It's but it's the Beatles, so.
Oh, well, yeah, also.
Buy it.
And what, Tupac also.
Yeah.
Still,
oh, for sure.
He's been dead for how long? And he's still
puts
producing.
out records.
Yeah. And also, what's it, Jimi Hendrix, who's a local.
Oh, yeah. I wrote a short play once. It was like a one-act play that I never did anything with that was called, and this is an intentionally long title, it was called Things I Personally Experienced While Waiting in Line to Audition for American Idol. That was the title of the play. And it's like a line of people waiting in line to audition for American Idol, and then there's like a car crash that they see, and it's sort of like an interaction between all these people that ends with a girl throwing a burrito at someone. But one of the characters is Tupac. And like, you don't really know it's Tupac, but I know it's Tupac, and so it's really funny to me that I made one of the characters is like Tupac alive still, like auditioning for American Idol, and I think that's really funny.
It is. Have you actually performed that or
no? I write all kinds of dumb plays that I do nothing with. It's really enjoyable for me.
I'd actually watch that. I would actually watch that.
I really liked it. It was essentially a big fight, and the backdrop was just like people waiting in line. So it was very.
Sounds very Seinfeldish. Like about nothing but everything at the same time, just reality.
Right, and a lot of bickering, which makes it very Seinfeldish.
Yeah.
But no, I just write dumb things and then put them in a drawer and move on in life. Anyway.
Yeah, so it happens a lot in music too.
Oh, I'm sure.
You got any? What now? Where are you at as far as projects go? Are you in between projects, or you got a project on the burner, or?
I'm kind of in a reinvention kind of stage. You know, it's like you have to figure out ways to stay relevant. That's one thing. And like you said, I have a family, so married, got 2 boys, a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, so they keep me pretty busy. So it's hard to stay relevant.
Cutest boys in the world, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I have a couple things in the work, but I also do motivational speaking. So I'm trying to figure out which direction exactly I'm gonna go. And so my website, I just got that built. So it's DariusAlexander.org.
Cool.
And just really trying to get into finding ways where I can help people either through music or through speaking, either way.
Very cool. So, what made you interested in motivational speaking?
Well, I've actually been doing that since I was 7 years old. So, yeah, I got paid for my first speaking gig when I was 13 as a keynote speaker. And
what kind of stuff do you talk about? I mean, we don't want to steal a free speech from you or anything, but like, give us a little, I don't know, like just what kind of subjects do you talk about?
Well, the main thing I talk about is branding for the most part, right? So growing up, my dad always said, how well you do a job represents you as a person. So as a kid, I'm thinking, how well I sweep the floor represents me, right? But the reality of it is how well you do the job of anything. How well you do the job of living, how well you do the job of being cool to other people, it represents you, you know what I mean? So it's like, you never know who's around you, who you're meeting, and that one time where the old lady fell and you walked past her, that somebody just formed an opinion about you, you know what I mean? So that's mostly what I speak about, is just personal branding, but I also do a lot of praying, and whenever I go to speak to a group, I kind of feel it out and see what the people need me to talk about, and hopefully leave somebody inspired just through my own testimonies and my stories and stuff. So
very cool. I like that, you know, and I never thought of like treating other people well as like using the word branding for that is really interesting to me, because like when you say branding, I always think, you know, marketing and like trying to sell something to somebody, or trying to basically like selling something. But to think of it as like an interpersonal concept that's a really interesting idea to me, because really you're in a sense selling yourself as a person in a way. I mean, you're not necessarily like trying to get people to invest in you, but like creating those kinds of relationships. Like, I never thought about that as branding.
Yeah, and I just think everybody's here for a reason, and we meet the people that we do for a reason, even if it's just bumping shoulders with somebody at the store. It all happens for a reason. And like Scott mentioned, I work for an insurance company, and pretty much I train agents before they get to go open their agencies, right? And I believe if you're just a good person and you're good to other people and you try your best to do things right by other people, you never have to sell anything.
Yeah, totally.
They'll support you and they'll come to you when they need something, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So.
Yeah, that's like I get like the creepy crawlies when I think about people trying to sell me stuff, but there are totally people who I just think are cool people that if I could ever find a reason to spend money on something for them, I would do it.
Exactly.
Because they're like
Right.
a person that I think is just like a really neat person. Yeah. But if when I get the hard sell from people, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, and it's weird how it applies to music. I've never really sold a CD, like as far as going out and being like, hey, want to buy my CD?
Oh, yeah.
I just try to be cool to people, and people normally buy the music off of who I am. That's what I believe anyways. They buy it off of who I am, even if they're never going to listen to it. Like I've had old ladies buy my CD, and I know they're not going to put it in the
Right, but
CD
they just
player
want
at
to
all.
support you and
Exactly.
like give you, like pat you on the back and be like, I'm your fan.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool. That's really cool. And speaking of your music, can we get your music off of your website?
Yeah,
Is it available digitally?
It is.
Cool.
You can I have a lot of free downloads. Some of them 99 cents or whatever. I just put out a new single with my 5-year-old son on Father's Day. So it's produced by Brian Rowland at Cold Clock Productions, and then my son got in on the very last part of it. So it's his first official release. So
Are you raising your son to be a musician? Are
I'm
you
not
grooming
really.
him?
I'm not really. Whatever he wants, whatever either one of them want to do, I support it. But
Cool.
luckily, they actually love it. So.
Oh, I'm sure. How can you not love music when you're a kid, you
Right.
know? And then if you have a parent who's,
Right.
like, in it, it makes perfect sense to
Yeah.
me. Like, why would you not do something so fun and joyful like that?
Well, they
Yeah.
probably get the vibe from you too, that it's something you're passionate about, and so that
Totally.
translate. It's like when you're doing something you're not really fond of, or you're just like you get that gritty or that negative energy vibe from it, and they'll steer away from that because they can feel that you don't like it.
Right.
But if you're doing something you're really jazzed about, you put off that aura. You put off even it's like, hey, this is really cool, and they can see. And then they also, it's when they're at that age too, they want to be involved in that love that you got. So
Totally.
they jump in that love bubble when you got and they'll tend to grow off of that. So that's why I see it.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's cool. And like my oldest son, since he's been when he's about 3, every time I record a song, I go home and I play it for him first, and he really chooses all the music I put out. If he doesn't like it, I don't put it out, and
Right on.
it's cool. Last night he was talking to me, and he kind of has been getting into beatboxing lately.
Nice.
So he's making up beats and stuff. And
Oh,
he's
nice.
He's like, this should be your next song, so I'm going to take him to the studio and have him work with Brian and have them come up with whatever they want me to record to.
Right
So,
on.
It's pretty cool.
That's way cool. It's super fun to, I don't know, have a thing you can involve your family in like that too.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's
Yeah.
really, really special.
It is.
I would be the world's worst beatboxer. I have tried it. I've had people who like have tried to teach me how to do it. It's a big fail for Peggy.
Yeah.
I am ironically not too bad at like drums, like rhythms and stuff. I'm okay at. There's something, and singing I can sing, but there's something about like beatboxing that just I don't know.
Yeah, I can't do that either.
Yeah, it takes.
It's a skill.
It's a talent.
Oh, for sure.
It is definitely talent. It's like, yeah, I can't do it.
And people who are good at it are amazing to me. Like, I could listen to people beatbox all day long.
Yeah.
Especially the ones who do, like, tonal. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Where they, like, almost sing while... Like, sometimes people do, like, a bass line while
Right.
they're beatboxing, and I'm just like, what is happening? Like, it's like watching a person, like, walk on water.
Stand there and stare at them with your mouth agape. Oh, that
Totally.
is so
Like,
awesome.
"Ooh, they're so good.
Wow.
Totally. Yeah. It's like, do you guys watch... Okay. I'm a dork. America's Got Talent.
No.
Every now and then.
I hate it. Like, I actively hate the show. It makes me, like, so angry, and yet every year I'll watch, like, the first 3 episodes, and I'll be like, oh, America's Got Talent. I wonder what goofy thing they're showing. And then I get about 3 episodes in, and I'm like, fuck this show, and I just, like, forget it. But what was I gonna say about America's Got Talent?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll like people will get on and just like a big guy will come on and then like sing a soprano opera aria.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? And that's why I like want to watch it, because I want to see
see how far he goes.
300-pound dude with like a beautiful soprano voice, just because it's so like bizarre and unusual.
Yeah, it's that shock factor.
I know. It's fun, and then I immediately lose interest. But the one I do watch in the summer is So You Think You Can Dance. I stick into that all summer long.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've never. Those are the shows I never got into, like American Idol or.
I watch The Voice.
I
have to watch The Voice.
I like The Voice too. I don't know why it's different than American Idol to me, but I wasn't that into American Idol. But for some reason, The Voice is
that another
awesome.
Simon? That's another Simon Cowell production, isn't it?
No, that's X Factor.
Oh, that's
Simon
X
Cowell.
Factor. Okay.
The Voice is the one where they have the chairs that turn around.
Oh.
Even though that doesn't really, it's just a chair. It was set up as this like gimmick thing, like, ooh, they're not going to see the singers,
right?
But then they immediately turn around and see the singers, so it's not. To me, I was
so
like,
the singers can't see them, maybe?
No, it's supposed to be focused on the voice.
Yeah.
So you hear the person sing before you look at them, because of course, you know, like with music and stuff, you see the pop stars and everything, they pretty much all look exactly the same, and some of them can't even sing, they just look good, you know what I mean?
So then maybe you're giving the chance to a person who looks a little weird. And, which one time I saw one where they all thought it was a lady, and then they turned around and it was a dude. Yeah. And I was like, right on, that's kind of fun. I like that. But Vicky Martinez, hometown girl, was on The Voice, and I think she got up to like 4th place or something.
She was actually 2nd place.
Second place?
Yeah, which is still cool, because she still flew out the next day, and CeeLo signed her to a deal. So.
She was on the radio here not too long ago.
I'm a giant. I think she sang with, in February with this, I sang with the Seattle Women's Chorus, and she was our guest artist. And I thought she was pretty cool. Like, she has some cool songs. And then hearing her sing live with us, I was like, forget it. She's like such a freaking talent.
Right.
Like,
she's that's also another thing, too. You know, to some people think it's like you just go out and sing and it's like you're an overnight success. But she's been doing it for, since she's 14 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, probably even before that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Cool thing about her, too, is I met her before the whole voice thing.
Nice.
At a Jazz Bones one time, and I know she was signed before when she was younger, but they were trying to turn her, from what I heard anyways, they were trying to turn her into more of like a pop kind of star, and she's like, nope, I want to make my music, do my sound, do it my way, and so she grinded it out, and that's what she's doing.
I think
I love her music.
I heard her on a local radio show, Bob Rivers in the morning, and she was talking about that actually, so that, you know, I guess,
totally.
And she is local. She wants when she's on tour, she comes back here and does the most shows in Seattle.
Right on.
So I mean, if anybody wants to see her, just keep an eye out, and most likely we'll see her in a local bar somewhere. And that's what she likes playing, is a local small town gigs.
Totally, I really dig her. I think she's like a legit talent.
Yeah.
Her songwriting is just beautiful too.
Yeah.
Oof, love it.
So.
Anyway, very cool. So you're working on you just put out a single now.
Yeah.
And what's next?
Trying to figure some stuff out. It's like I do mostly like hip hop and R&B, but I don't like being put in a box or boxing myself in, so I try to stretch myself and find challenges. So I did an acoustic song called Roller Coaster that's been doing pretty well.
Right on.
Just working with different producers and trying to get some different sounds. I really want to do a country song.
Oh, cool.
But still make it something that people would dance to in the club. I don't know.
That's an interesting...
And that people will play at church. I don't know. I just want to do some of everything.
Cool.
Yeah. He said, well, this holds to what he said. He told me before. It's music for almost for every genre and all ages. You know, it really does. It doesn't fit into one certain category. And I played it for my mom. I played it for my grandmother, and they've all liked it.
Very cool.
So
try to keep it clean and everything. My mom's one of my biggest supporters, and so I try to make sure I keep it clean and try to keep it positive.
And here I am dropping the F-bomb all the time.
I didn't say I don't cuss. I said I don't cuss on my music.
Oh, okay, good job. Right on. I have no filter, so I'm always like saying inappropriate things. That's sort of my special magic talent. Yeah. Very cool. So what do you think, wave a magic wand, and what would be, your ideal, if you could work on one project that was just, your dream project, what kind of a thing would it be?
It would really just be helping people, in all honesty. If I could just go on tour, I guess, year round, and that was my full-time job, I would have concerts where I do start off with a speaking engagement, talk to a group of young people, hopefully, try to motivate them a little bit, and then end it with a performance with a live band and fire.
Cool.
And
Fire?
pyrotechnics and
Oh, I see, like physical fire.
Yeah.
gymnasts
Right on.
and people twirling around. Like
That'd
just-
be cool.
That would be cool.
I would absolutely go to something like that.
Yeah, I love mixing the message, and then the music is always
Yeah.
it's like a bonus, you know what I mean?
Totally.
To
Yeah.
what they're supposed to be there for.
Well, and
So,
music is so celebratory that I can imagine, like, if you just, like, took a room full of people and kind of bonded them together through creating, like a common feeling, like, everybody's like, oh, we really want to, like, be better people, and then celebrate it with music.
Exactly.
Like, that's awesome to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
I want to go if you do that.
Me too.
I just want to be just a groupie.
I know.
or part of the entourage. I'll do that too.
Okay.
yeah, that's better than
I will do
groupie.
gymnastics. I have my own leotard. I do
you do
actually.
the backflips and everything.
Totally. I could work on my backflips. Nice. Great. Well, thank you so much for coming, Darius. Like, it's been really cool talking to you. I'm excited. Would you mind if we get some kind of sample of your music and cut it into the end of our podcast?
Oh, I would love that. That'd be cool.
Cool. That way, kind of spread the word a little bit. You know,
I
let
think we
people
can
know your
find
sound.
some of the most of your music on Bandcamp, right?
Yeah,
is it
and
still
if you,
there?
Okay.
yeah, and if you go through my website, it links
Cool.
right to it from
Yeah.
the front page and
Right
everything.
on.
so.
And you can maybe let us know after the podcast which song you think is like, here, play this one. That's gonna be the one that if you have like that one song that really represents you, that'd be cool.
Okay,
I'd really like to do that.
sounds good to me.
Great.
Now we're just gonna riff, so you can jump in and out whenever you want. yeah.
Totally.
All right.
I do have something I want to share, though.
Okay.
Part of my, when I went out with my cousin, I had something that I've never had happen to me before.
Uh
I had a random stranger buy me a beer.
oh. Okay.
Now,
Nobody's ever bought you a beer before?
I've had friends buy me beers, but not a dude. Never a random
Gotcha.
dude.
Never a lady?
Actually, no. I've
don't
always
think-
been the one. I've always been the one to buy the drinks. I've never
That's
been
good.
the one to get bought the drinks.
Okay.
That's pretty much how it goes, I guess.
And were you talking to this guy before he bought you a beer?
A couple times. Well, what it was,
okay.
he's actually from Saudi Arabia, and he's there with he's a foreign exchange student, and he was there with a group of his friends, and they all go to Pierce College,
Okay.
and he just, I don't know, he was talking to my cousin.
Oh, go ahead.
And he was talking to my cousin, and they're drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon. I was like, dude, you're in America. Drink some good beer. But
you
they're on
know,
a student.
in PBR's defense, it's not that bad.
It's not that good either, though.
It's not that bad.
It is
though.
not. If
I
you're-
will take PBR on tap. I'd rather go Stella, but if I don't know, if I'm on the cheap, I'll go
Yeah,
PBR.
I guess on the cheap. If you're just drinking to get drunk, that's what I would drink. But if I'm out to enjoy myself, I'd rather have a nice. I'd rather take the money I blew on 8 PBRs and buy 2 really good beers.
See, this is a Seattle thing because in the Midwest, I moved here from Chicago. PBR is not a shitty beer. PBR is like an okay kind of crappy. I mean, like Budweiser and Coors. Rainier doesn't even exist in the Midwest.
No.
Like those are shitty beers. PBR is like a generic. It's like the Diet Coke of beer.
Yeah,
but
it's-
here, people hate it.
It's the middle.
Or
because we're
hipsters love
stuck-
it because they're like, oh, we're drinking shitty beer.
Yeah.
We're hipsters. It's so cool.
Well, they spend $10 and get loaded. That's why they like it.
Yeah. Anyway, this is just my perspective on PBR. But go
So
ahead.
yeah, I started making jokes of it. because I was there with my cousin and her 2 friends, and I was like, what did I do? Did I arch my back or something? Did I stick my butt out? I was like, but it was just friendly. It was a friendly. He's
honestly
new
is
to America.
cultural.
Yeah.
You know that Middle Eastern guys, if like it's a sign of respect. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, you're a nice guy. Here's a beer.
Right, and
Well, yeah.
I got that. It just
Okay,
was
good.
because it's 2 different cultures coming
Right.
together. It's something that's not in my norm.
Yeah.
Having a dude, and only buy me a beer, not the people I'm with.
Yeah.
Hey, let me buy you around. That
Were
would have
you
been
the only guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
that's
the-
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the nod to like we are the men.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
totally.
He was definitely having a good time, and he was very, very what he would stereotypically Persian. A big popped collar. He looked like he was straight from the 70s. Just a big flared collar and a white shirt and a blazer and slacks and Elton John style glasses, big, over the top white frames, and they weren't even prescription. They were just clear. They were just a clear, like,
just style glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was, and
he sounds really special.
And it's very interesting to talk to somebody whose their English is definitely their second language, and is when they're drunk. And it was, it was so hard to talk to them because everything was my friend, and that's everything. And I'm giving the guy I'm not trying to disrespect him, but it was just really interesting. It was an interesting night. It was.
That sounds fun.
It makes for great podcast material, by the way.
It's true.
Yeah.
Totally. I ran into this guy, like, standing on the street waiting for an Uber cab to come. Do you guys ever use Uber? It's like,
I heard about it.
I had never used it before, but like you call them and they come and you have like an account. It's like an app, and you load your credit card on, and so then they just take you wherever you go. And it was like an Escalade. It was like this really nice car, and you don't have to worry about like having cash on you or anything because they just like charge your account and you move on with life. It was nice.
Yeah.
But we were standing there waiting for it, and I was talking about, I had read an article about how during the most recent whatever storm in New York, Uber got in trouble for charging people like crazy amounts of money for cabs because they called it like emergency time or like whatever, and they charged people like 10 times the normal amount for a cab.
Gouging,
and so I was talking about it, and then there was this guy who I think was Japanese standing on the corner, and he was like, I was in New York, and then he just came over and like told us like this super long story about Hurricane Irene and Sandy. It was Sandy, right?
Yeah.
About like his experiences being in both of those things, and we talked to him for maybe like 20 minutes, and it was so nice. And then we just like got in our cab and went away, and it was like, that was such a weird, like, I don't know, he like seriously was telling us like details about how he like, you know, needed to charge his cell phone, and so he was like going door to door trying to like find people who had power, and it was just such a cool like moment of him. I think he felt special, like, oh, let me tell you what it was like to be there.
You're actually, instead of hearing about it on the news, you're actually getting an eyewitness account of what what he experienced instead of like this broad sweep of these guys it sucks over there. So
well, and he said that then after Sandy, he was like, that's it, I'm done with the coast. And I was like, well, Seattle's a coast too. But apparently he's just here on vacation. I was like, well, don't move here because we're going to get an earthquake. It's only a matter of time.
He needs to go home. Sounds like bad luck follow him.
Totally.
You go back and find your storms over there.
Yeah.
Well, out here, it's not too bad. I complain about the weather only because I don't know any different. So that's, I've lived in the tropics for a little bit, and I like it. I want to go back. But but here, we're spoiled. We're actually really spoiled. It's a very mild climate.
Because even I complain about, it's August, and there have been a couple of days where it's been 55 degrees, and I get really annoyed because, not because I don't like the weather, because I actually really like the couple of cool days to break up the hot, but it's because I don't know about them ahead of time, so I don't know to grab a sweatshirt. Like, even today, I'm kind of freezing, and I'm like, man, I could have worn, like, a sweatshirt and sneakers.
And August is one of our months that it's still warm, but it gets brisk in the morning and brisk at night. So we get that 12 hours in the day where it's a little warmer and then it gets cool.
Well, today it's supposed to get up to like 78, which is perfect to me. Like just warm enough to be comfortable, but not too hot. I give Seattle 2 thumbs up for weather. It's and
I guess it all comes about how you're going to deal with the weather. If it's going to be cold, just deal with it. I tell people, because my wife's a complainer when it gets hot, and I'm like, it's hot. It's going to be hot. Complaining about it's not going to make it cold.
It's true.
So
I do complain about the heat sometimes, though, when it's like really, really humid. I get a little like ragey.
Yeah.
So
it's because you don't sleep well and it's stuff.
Yeah.
But then when it gets cold, the script gets flipped. I bitch about the cold. She goes, it's cold. It's going to be cold. It's not going to get warmer just because you bitch about it.
Also, because she grew up in Thailand, right?
Right.
So you would think she would be more
sensitive
to the cold.
I've met so many people from like the tropical, like especially like from like Samoa.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and they love it here because it's cold.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, are you serious? He goes, oh, yeah, the cold is, I like it cold. If it gets above 70, I don't like it. I was like, really?
I do have some Tongan friends who are like that. You
grew up where you're basically, your suit was a lava and a tank top.
Yeah.
And that's all you needed to keep, you're just basically keeping your butt from getting dirty.
Right. But my friends who are Tongan who complain about the heat, they're also very large size humans. Yeah. And so I think the cold is like, it cools them down enough that they're not just hot all the time. Right. That's me. Because I'm, like, if it's hot, I'm super hot. Which is why, like, last week we were talking about hot yoga. I think that's why I can't do hot yoga.
Right.
Because I'm already too hot.
No,
I don't need any more heat.
I'm also a bigger guy, too. But the heat doesn't bother me. I've never really been bothered by the heat.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a skill. I was going to say something, and then my brain totally jumped to the next thing. Yeah, I can't remember.
It'll come back.
I know. It'll come back right when we're finished podcasting.
That train thought had left the station.
Because last week I got home, and I was like, oh, there were like 12 other things I was supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, we should talk about, really quickly, before we wrap up, thank you so much for everybody who's listened to the podcast. I've heard from a few people. Everybody's still having trouble because we're not on iTunes yet. Hopefully really soon. But a lot of people have been getting the podcast through the blog because if you can't get SoundCloud, the blog works really well. Okay. So I've been putting out the blog link a lot. Okay. And you can just, like, on the web, click play, and you don't have to have any kind of app or any sign up for SoundCloud. Okay. But, so if you're looking for us, please find us through our Facebook page. We're on Tumblr. We're on Twitter at Coffee Shop Pod. Coffee Shop Pod. It's at Coffee Shop Pod on Twitter. And if you'd like to email us, our Gmail address is from the coffee shop podcast at gmail.com. And please tell a friend, like, spread the word. We're starting to get a lot more listens, which is fantastic. And we're hoping just to get out and reach the masses.
We're trying to sail this pirate ship.
I know, it's true. Trying to kind of build something here. Right. So if you can tell a friend, that's the best thanks you can give us, really. And Scott, did you want to plug?
Yeah, one more. Yeah,
wood-fired pizza friends.
Yeah, go again to Raul's Wood-Fired Pizzas. It's on our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. You can get the link there. Check them out. It's a really good deal, I think. I mean, it's worth the investment if that's all you want to do is tailgate. Mm-hmm. These things are amazing. You would really be the tailgate king if you brought a wood-fired pizza oven. Because they're just really good, and they teach you how to use it. It's cool. Yeah, and
it seems like something you could. I mean, if you're a person who wants to start a business and you want a wood-fired pizza oven, if you are just the home chef who wants to have lots of parties and entertain at home, it's a great investment. Or like Scott was saying, if you're a tailgater, you can't go wrong. So.
Think about it. You can go on at, let's say you fire up your oven at about 1:30 a.m. Bars close at 2. Mm-hmm. You'd make a killing just outside of a bar because it's at $3 a slice. Mm-hmm. You're doing a service. You're getting people. You keep them off the road. They're sobering up eating your pizza. Win-win. And that's probably you'd make probably about $300 or $400 in hours time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really, honestly, you'd probably sell all your pizzas.
So if you're thinking about doing anything like that, let them know that you heard about it on our podcast, and we think they're a really cool product with really good people pushing it. So. And thanks again to Darius Alexander for joining us. You can find him on his website at dariusalexander.org. And we'll put it up on our Facebook page, so if you're looking for his music, plug into that. And like I said, once we wrap up, we'll play a little cut of some of his tunes and see if you become a fan like us.
Yeah, one more thing, too. Please don't be shy. If you find our Facebook page, please just write down a comment, share it. Don't, it's there for everybody to see. Post pictures if you want. Just keep it PG-13.
Only PG-13. I don't want to see any G-rated pictures.
No G. Yeah. Oh, PG. Yeah. Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
I need to see a little bit of side boob or
or maybe even NC-17. With
fancy.
maybe some pixelation. Something like that. We don't want to get thrown off of Facebook.
Pornographic,
right.
But hit us up, comment on some of the things that we're doing.
Like us, share us, spread the word.
Love us.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you again for listening, and please tell a friend. And this has been From the Coffee Shop. Huzzah!
Huzzah.
In the city, we taking over the city.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights.
Bright lights, highlights in the city, we taking over the city.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights. Bright nights, dark days. I once heard that working hard pays. I hope they never said that to a slave, though. Let me tell you a little bit about how my days go. I'm in the tech. I'm at the dome, hitting summer jam, still feeling unknown. So even when I'm home, my girl feel like I'm gone. So I'm gone, back out on the road. Hope somebody big soon hears my flow. I got bars, no cage. I'm a star, even without a stage. I got a buzz and I ain't even had a drink. The city know my name, so I feel I'm on the brink. I got sense though, I make change. This is not a game, I don't do it for the chain. This is therapeutic, it's how I stay sane.
Bright lights, highlights in the city, we taking over the city.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights.
Bright lights, highlights in the city, we taking over the city.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights. They think I made it, so they eyeing me, can't even go out, can't enjoy any privacy. Yeah, they trying me, but I just wanna rest, relax a little bit, let the air out my chest, spend time with my air. They don't care about my stress, they want what I've earned, so they stare at my steps. They don't get the picture, but they taking pictures until they see me flash. They still gon' ask, can they have an autograph? I smile and laugh, please let me pass. Yeah, but this is what you want, right? Life in the bright lights. Is it all that you imagine? Tell me about all the fun that you're having. Putting in work, but you never get the cash. It's down to the flow, can't stop until you crash.
Bright lights, highlights in the city, we taking over the city.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights.
Bright lights, highlights in the city, we taking over the city.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights.
What's all the high fame? Living life in the best lane. You think you know, but you don't know the life we live outside the show. First class and they know my name. Shout outs when I'm up on stage. Coast to coast and show to show. If no one shows, the show goes on, yeah. Bright lights, highlights.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights.
Bright lights, highlights.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights.
Bright lights, highlights in the city, we taking over the city.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights.
Bright lights, highlights in the city, we taking over the city.
Yeah, this is what you want, right? The life in the bright lights.